Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Dementia Researcher live stream. I haven't really got a name for this. We haven't got a brand for this. Usually we kind of call this the salon or the whatever it is, but this doesn't have a name because this is a unique one-off event. So I'm delighted to be hosting this evening. My name's Adam Smith. I'm the program director for Dementia Researcher, and this is a very special live stream for a particular purpose. I'm joined by Golnaz Alta. Pronounce your name wrong. You pronounce your name.
Atefi, yeah.
Who? The reason why we're doing this is because Golnaz is going to be skating across Europe, doing 1,000 kilometers in aid of some of her work. But I don't want to. You see, just in the title, we're giving away what it is already. But the purpose of this live stream tonight is to chat to Golnaz, who's going to talk us through her plans for September. Because for those who weren't aware, September is World Alzheimer's Month. And up and down the country and across the world, there are going to be lots of activities taking place. You're going to hear a lot more about these activities as we get into the month. But we wanted to get ahead of the game, let everybody know what's going on and about our collaboration, because I think this is the most exciting thing. But that's enough from me for now. Let's have a proper introduction. Golnaz, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell everybody watching who you are.
Of course, thank you for having me. Indeed, I'm Golnaz Atefi, and I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
So, you've just finished your PhD. Tell us where in the world you are, what it is you've done, and why who are you exactly?
Yeah, that's a good question. But first of all, my PhD is not finished yet. I managed to submit my thesis about a few weeks ago. So right now, basically after submitting my PhD thesis, I started my fellowship. Right now, I am based in Maastricht University in south of the Netherlands in Maastricht. And my fellowship is in collaboration with UCL. But right now, I'm located in Maastricht.
So tell us about your PhD. So you're an early career dementia researcher, just submitted your thesis, and what have you been doing for the last few years?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I am part of a broader network. It's an Marie Curie funded called Distinct Consortium. We are 15 early stage researchers, and we research the use of technology in dementia. We aim to use technology to improve quality of life of people with dementia and their families. So my research is specifically focused on family caregivers, but also implementing online interventions for in dementia. And right now, I am shifting the focus a little bit toward prevention. So yeah, but what all of this have in common is about importance of diversity and representativeness in our dementia data.
So you've given me a picture here. Look, let me flag it up on this
Yeah.
picture on the screen. So who is this? Who are all these people in these photographs?
Okay. You see here, they are my lovely colleagues in Alzheimer Center Limburg. I'm not here, by the way. I arrived 10 minutes after this photo was taken. And then on the left, you see this is us from Interdem Network. We are a pan-European network researching psychosocial aspect of dementia for early detection and timely intervention in dementia. We aim to improve quality of life of people with dementia and family caregivers. Then and next to it, this is my lovely colleagues in Distinct Consortium that I just told you about, 15 ESRs. And then the photo on the right is showing the last Rolling for Dementia campaign. It was on 2020. These are my lovely colleagues that supported me in my journey. So, yeah.
So I recognize quite a few people from that, particularly from the Distinct group. So anybody who listens to the Dementia Researcher podcast as a regular will know, I think in late 2000, 2022, I want to say, or early 2023. We did a whole week-long special on technology and dementia, and we looked at like how you do technology studies differently and how you might implement and use the findings and what are the unique challenges with delivering technology research. So can I ask you a little bit more about your PhD? So you mentioned use of technology and online to help particular people. So online in what way? Is this support groups? Is this guidance? What is it?
So my background is in psychology. So one area that I worked at was an approach to psychotherapy called acceptance and commitment therapy. So we used this approach and we created an online intervention. So self-help modules for family caregivers. We wanted to promote them to be more independent, to find a balance between caregiving and their own personal life. Because it also influences the quality of the care they provide. So it's important for them to feel all right. So this was one study that we've conducted. The results, most of them are published. And the other side that I collaborated was mainly focusing on implementation. So we find a lot of positive things in academia, but this research is sometimes difficult to find their way in real world. So this calls implementation. So yeah, we research a little bit how we can make sure that research is implementation ready. And it was in collaboration with Mindtech and also University of Nottingham. So this were mainly two area of focus during my PhD.
You bring up some important points there, and ones we've talked about before as well. I mean, that post-diagnosis acceptance isn't, and that support, psychological support isn't. I mean, I think we all too often think about post-diagnostic support as being, like thinking about the future, or are you getting the drugs you need, or the support you need, or and not just how you come to terms with the diagnosis, which I think isn't talked about so much, particularly in that post-diagnostic support. We kind of jump ahead a little bit, don't we? We spend a lot of time looking at care homes and how you live at home for longer and things, but that initial, whereas in other diseases, particularly in things like cancer, I guess there's a lot more thought being put into terms with in that. I'm saying this, so that there's probably lots of people watching now. We're going to go, no, you don't know what you're talking about. There's loads of work on that. Certainly, we haven't had many podcasts or contributors talk about that particular thing. So if you want to disagree, you can drop a line in the comments on me. And you also raised an important point about implementation. And in fact, actually, I think one of your collaborators, Sarah Bartels, and I have got plans to make a podcast and talk about implementation, because I fully agree. It's one of the many things I grind on about, is about how it must be frustrating to develop an intervention which works, you've got the evidence to support it, and then what next? Because after, you've got a postdoc job or you've got a PhD, you've got to find your next job. And if you're lucky, you can maybe keep that going as research. But at some point, you've got to package that up and hand it over and say, right, somebody's got to just deliver this now. And you're a researcher. I mean, I know you're a clinician as well, but it shouldn't be your job to do that. I think there's more support we could put into the system to take worthwhile interventions and translate those into real life services, which is kind of, I guess, what you're doing here. You're not going to wait for somebody to kind of go out and tell you. So that's who you are. And we know kind of a little bit more about your research, which we'll come back to. But tell us now, what exactly is it that you're doing for World Alzheimer's Month?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So during my PhD, we summarized three main areas that are rapidly growing in dementia care. The use of, for example, as I told you, acceptance and commitment therapy, the use of technology. But during this, and also online interventions for family caregivers. During this research, when I was actually wrapping them up during my thesis discussion, I realized that, okay, we found some promising results, and technologies really can be promising, but we don't know really for whom. Or acceptance and commitment therapy showed really promising results for family caregivers of people with dementia. But this is more complex than it sounds, because family caregivers could take care of people with Alzheimer's, people with early onset dementia. Their needs are different. What stage of caregiving they are, what stage of dementia the care recipients is in. So this is something that actually attracted my attention, that okay, the data is not that, it doesn't say, it says something but not much. So this is also on researchers to be transparent, to report actually what they found. For example, if we are researching family caregivers or people with dementia, it's really important to mention socio-demographic statuses of these people, the ethnicity of these people, what stage of dementia they are, what type of dementia, the duration of caregiving, because then we know more about what works for whom and what's not. So for the implementation side as well, this was so if you're going to have a podcast with Sarah Bartels, you can also invite Hannah Christie. They're also friends and colleagues, and this collaboration was actually with Hannah. We looked into those aspects that we can improve the implementation readiness. So right now in my now I have a bit of a shift of focus on prevention. And I am specifically going to look into data diversity and representativeness, because it's not all about ethnicity. It's also about different types of dementia, different needs, different stages. So I thought this could be really important for us to know. And I think raising awareness about this can make difference in long term. So yeah, that's actually the background.
Okay, so that's the background. So what is it you're doing in September? and make that connection for me. So I introduced this with a very exciting tale of your roller skating 1,000 kilometers throughout Europe. Everybody who's watching now is going to be going, okay, so how are these two things connected? So connect them for me.
Sure.
So what is it you're doing in September? I've said you're going to skate.
Yeah, exactly. So I am going to skate for at least 1,000 kilometers, hopefully, from the north of the Netherlands to Geneva. And the idea is, I have some findings right now from my PhD, and now I am analyzing data. I want to discuss these findings with professionals. I want to have their reflections of my findings, but also I want to ask them to share their own insights and suggestions and recommendations to, first of all, what is the danger of when our data is not representative of the population, and what to do to make it better. So the idea is a kind of a sportive campaign to raise awareness. It's also a learning journey for me as well. So I thought maybe this could be something for everybody. We can have fun. We can learn together.
So you're a bit like a band about to go on tour, right? You've got a bunch of new songs, which you're not sure if you've got a bunch of songs. You're not sure if people are going to like them or not, or listen to them, or if they're going to resonate. You'd like to also write some more songs, and you're going on tour through Europe, except you're not. You're a researcher going on tour on roller skates through Europe. This has got to be unique. I mean, honestly, if anybody's watching who's come across this approach before, please do drop a message in the chat, and I'd love to know what anybody watching thinks about this, because this has got to be unique. So why roller? You know, we've got cars and everything. Why are you roller skating?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think first of all, about the research, when we talk about research, we can sound a little bit boring. So when we add a bit of fun to this, when we talk about research, if we manage to make it exciting, if we manage to make to disseminate it in a way that makes sense to people, I'm sure, especially if they know it's for their own good, they're gonna at least consider thinking about it. And if we do a good job, maybe they also do it. So I'm doing skating because it's just skating for me is really meaningful in a way that it makes me feel so close to my childhood as well. So I grew up skating, and it also makes me feel. It reminds me of my loved ones, of my grandparents. They would take me out every single day skating. So even my parents would ask me, just for God's sake, maybe one day rest. But but they
That's
were always supportive of that.
And it's going to look great on your narrative. I can't imagine any professor somewhere who's going to get job applications in the next couple of years gets a narrative CV through, can say, "Yeah, I've done this," because this is epic in its own right. I'm going to share my screen for a second, because what I've got here for people to see, just to help put this into context and visualize this a little bit. So this is the route that you're going to be taking. Excuse the brand name at the top. No other other exercise tracking apps are available. So you start. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So you start up here in the Netherlands, and you're going to go round to Amsterdam. So how many pit stops? Tell me, how many people you mentioned on the route you're going to be interviewing researchers, disseminating your findings, meeting people. We're going to have a whole conversation about what state you're going to be in when you arrive at some of those interviews. If you just had a 30 kilometer skate, you arrive and say, "By the way, can I just borrow your shower for a second before we chat?" How many pit stops are you making en route?
Oh, many, and it's just also it's growing. So I'm gonna start from in front of the Alzheimer Netherlands.
Okay. So,
So it's a
you're
meaningful
starting. So this is where you live. Ignore that. We're not going to zoom into your house. So you're starting here in Amsterdam. Is that
Yeah.
the official start?
No, actually, the official start is in front of Alzheimer Netherlands in Amersfoort. And
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize they were in Amersfoort.
yeah, we
Right.
wanted to make it more meaningful, and then I start the journey. I go up to Amsterdam. I have a couple interviews there, and then a lot of interviews are also online, because many professionals. I wanted to collect insights of professionals who didn't live close by, but they were willing to share their insights. So I will be skating about 4 hours a day, and 4 hours a day also skating. So
Okay. So do you, are there any places where you spend you spend a whole day and then you've suddenly got to skate at 6 o'clock in the night and skate through the night to your next destination because you've got full days? No.
yeah, sometimes I might skate during the night. It depends on, for example, the weather. If
Okay.
it's gonna rain, we might change the schedule. But also, many people offered me to spend the night in their place, so I can also interview them during the evening. So that could also be fun.
Okay, so lots of interviews in The Hague, then in Amsterdam. Then you're going down here to The Hague,
Yeah,
and
and
across to Rotterdam.
yeah, but also many professionals just they live. For example, some professionals in Rotterdam live in Gouda, So yeah, close by. It's not only in main cities. There are a lot of villages or small cities that I can.
So how long? So hold on, I'm looking at the map here. So by the time you get to The Hague, you've done 130 kilometers. So
Yeah,
that's already 3 days. You're going to be in The Hague after 3 or 4 days, then down to Rotterdam, which is at least another day
yeah.
from The Hague down to, and then there's a lot of nothing. I mean, my geography is shockingly bad, but this looks like a lot of nothing in between. This is countryside.
Yeah. So um, if you can you zoom in a little bit
I can
because
zoom in further.
yeah. So for example, so this is the route I'll be skating, and then maybe along the way we make some stop, and then we might go and eat, and then come back skating, or maybe we
Yeah.
go and see professionals in their I don't know, a cafe close by. But yeah, this is the route, which by the way is still flexible,
Okay.
depending on other professionals who would want to share their insights, and they live
So
in other locations.
so if anybody is watching and you're a researcher or you're somebody living with dementia or a carer and you live somewhere off this route that isn't going to add on an extra couple of days worth of travel, get in touch. you could be added into the schedule. So if you live in Gumborg or one of these places along here, drop in. Now it all looks very flat. The first 400 kilometers, maybe 600 kilometers, looks very flat, and then we have this. We've got a little spike here,
Yeah.
where you have a 4% increase. So let's just talk about while we're going to run through this route, let's talk about a little bit about the practicalities. Show us, I know you've got them there. Show us your roller skates, because
Oh,
these aren't the roller skates you'll go to a roller derby in. These are impressively speedy looking skates with
yeah, I have
big
my.
wheels for avoiding potholes.
But yeah, I might change them for an actual marathon. But yeah, these are skates that I'm
Okay,
practicing right
so
now with.
big
So
skates, and can you skate in the rain? Is that safe?
it depends on the route. If it's gravel road, I'm not sure.
Can you skate on gravel? I can't that must be really hard going to roller skate on
Yeah,
gravel.
it's just I can skate, but it's just it might takes a bit longer. So
Okay,
and sometimes if the weather is maybe if the weather is not that good, or if in-person interviews are not possible, we still have a lot of online interviews lined up. So we
okay.
will have a lot of interviews per day. So that's
When
all
you're skating on gravel, do you need sticks to drag yourself? Now, I guess the other thing, anybody, I know not everybody's like me. I'm kind of one of those people that jump straight to the practicalities and thinking, wait a second, you're going to roller skate for a whole month. You're going to make all these pit stops on the way. And I'm immediately kind of thinking of, well, what about all your stuff? I mean, are you carrying a rucksack? Have you got a trailer? Are you carrying a rucksack? Where, do you, where's all your clothes? You can't wear the same clothes the whole month because nobody's going to want to be interviewed by you by the end of the month if you've worn the same outfit. So, so where's all your stuff while this journey's going on?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff actually. I might carry my laptop with me, but the rest of the stuff are being carried with two good friends of mine who are also making a documentary out of this and are helping me. Um, their name is Jolin and Frour, and they have car. They have a car, and they carry this stuff for me kindly, so that I don't have to carry all the stuff with me. Only a laptop.
So
So
you've got a support crew. They've got
yeah.
your stuff in there. Do they have like spare wheels and rain gear and a walkie-talkie. Have you got a walkie-talkie so you can? I love this. I'm quite jealous, actually. I quite love a road trip. So they'll be stopping off and seeing you at various places on the route. They've got all your stuff in there. So let's just go back and look at the route a little bit again. So then you stay in the Netherlands for quite some time, and then you make your way eventually down to Eindhoven, which is 400 kilometers by then.
Yeah.
Then you're going through Antwerp, and then you hit the hills around. I'm going to pronounce this name incorrectly. Is that Liège?
Liège, yeah.
Liège. So then you hit the first set of hills around Liège, and then you've got a steady climb, or the downhill to Bonn. That's good. So this is I'm going to ask you a question about hills in a minute. So then you carry on down. We'll zoom in a little bit there so we can pick up some places. So you carry. Oh, that looks like a big twisty bit.
Yeah.
That looks super twisty down there. So tell me, what? Well, no. Is this hill? No, this is all uphill. So you've got lots of a very steady, twisty uphill section, and until you get to Luxembourg.
I think this is close to the Rhine, so that is how.
So you're following. I should zoom in. Are you following? I see.
Yeah.
Very nice. You're following the river. So there's no cheating, right? You're not gonna hop on a little boat and sail some
No,
of this.
we can't cheat. Actually, I will tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, we can't.
Okay.
And I don't have an intention to cheat. Actually.
So you get to Luxembourg, and then you've got what appears to be a really zooming out some more. Sorry, you've got a really big climb.
I know.
There, wherever that is. What's going on there? Oh, look, mountains.
Yeah, so this is not finalized yet. And the thing is, the sea level in Amsterdam is 2 meters. It is 2 meters, and in Geneva, I think it's 379 or something. So you can imagine.
So can I just you've trained for this, right? I mean, you've not. I mean, you've said you already skated. You've done a campaign before. How much training have you done?
So far, the longest I could do in 1 month has been 700. So 1,000 I've never done before. So 700 kilometers in 1 month I did before.
So this is like a third as much as much again.
And in mountains.
and so yeah, tell us a little bit more about these mountains. So you've been skating every day to get in practice.
Yes.
And then you're gonna skate uphill over mountains.
And no, well, this is and yeah, as I mentioned, this route from Luxembourg to Geneva is not finalized yet, and this is because we are hoping to find interviewees, for example, in France or I don't know, some other places that we could hopefully adjust the route a little bit so that we can avoid the mountains also for safety. And if it's, I don't know, if it's raining or whatever.
So it'd be quite handy to get some interviews in Dijon.
Yeah.
Dijon will be quite nice. So I love this idea. So you'd really like some people to volunteer to be interviewed in France to help you avoid the mountains.
Exactly.
If you're watching and you want to do Golnaz a favor, please volunteer.
Yes, thank you.
So and then essentially you carry on down to Belfort and through down to Lausanne, and then finish in Geneva. Yeah. Why Geneva? Why is Geneva the end point? So this is aiming for the last, I assume, with a little bit of leeway for the end of September. This is a month-long journey.
Yeah. So as I told you, I wanted this to be meaningful, and I thought Geneva could be a very meaningful finishing line, because this year Alzheimer Europe conference is held there in Geneva. So we have Alzheimer Europe this year there, and this is a conference that we always attend. And I've been thinking of this marathon for a couple years now, and I was really, really curious last year where will be the next year's location. And I saw Geneva, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do this.
And it times up perfectly. And this isn't just you cunningly procrastinating after your PhD because you've got time to kill. This is because you're actually doing some real work during this time as well.
Yeah, so that last year I think it was in Romania, and it was a bit. It wasn't also feasible, but this time in Geneva, yeah, it was also after my after submitting my thesis, and it was also after Alzheimer Month. It was also Alzheimer Europe conference there. So yeah, why not?
Okay. So if you're just joining this now, and we're just going to recap for those that might be joining a little bit late. So Golnaz is going to be skating 1,000 kilometers through Europe, doing a route we've just shown you. Scroll back if you want to watch that again, from the Netherlands all the way down to Geneva throughout September for World Alzheimer's Month, with a pit crew of 2 other people that are going to carry clothing, snacks, spare wheels, and all the other luggage that she will need, and stopping at various places along the route to chat with people living with dementia, carers, advocates, and researchers to both disseminate her findings, talk about brain health, and talk about research and these things on the way. And what are you going to do with those findings or those interviews that you hold? Is there a purpose? Is there a purpose in those? Is this going to be a paper with a great title like Roller? I'm not even going to attempt to go with the title, but there's a great paper title in there somewhere.
That's actually a good question, but so we already have some findings. The goal for these interviews are mainly about raising awareness, more of an informal chat. Is also in lay language. So we're not going to publish them in scientific papers, but of course, these discussions are gonna inform me during my fellowship and when I want to publish this quantitative analysis. Then in the discussion part, they're gonna be really valuable for me as well.
So I'm going to ask you some more fun questions now because I'm really interested in this trip. So what are you most looking forward to about this being on the road?
I'm really looking forward to building connections with people I don't know. So meaningful connections. So when I share, for example, last time it happened a lot. So when people saw me, when we talked, because also I had a big logo.
Yeah, so people suddenly see you skating down the street or stopping in petrol stations and snack bars, and you're going to need a lot of snacks, I assume.
Yeah, and then people immediately related, for example, last times, and they shared their stories with me, beautiful stories, lived experiences, reflections, and I don't know, it felt like that the topic of dementia brought us together. It was like made us feel a bit close to each other, and I had a lot of meaningful conversations, and it was really, really beautiful side of the trip. So unexpected, but yeah, those were highlights of last time. I really hope that they happen a lot again in this trip as
I
well.
love that. Yeah, and it sounds like you've built in a lot of flexibility into the trip as well. That if you opportunities present themselves for you to kind of deviate a little bit off route, or to talk to different people, or to give a little talk, that there's opportunities to do this. So any media outlets watching as well, Golnaz is absolutely available for TV interviews. If you're in any local news stations, get in on this now. What are you most dreading about this? I mean, what's keeping you awake at night? It's gotta. I mean, it's gotta be the mountain. I mean, if it was me, it would be the mountains. But
um, That's a good question. Things that I am worried about. First of all, my plans. I have a lot of plans that I am looking for someone who can kindly water them. This is the first thing that I'm worried about. But yeah, anyway, something that I am not. That was your question, right? That's things that I'm not looking forward to.
Potholes
Yeah.
and the gravel.
um, Injuries, I think. Injuries that stop me from doing this. For example, I've broken my fingers 100 times, so fingers fine.
Maybe some kind of gloves.
But yeah, if some sort of injuries that really stops me from this, that would be a pity. But I will continue interviewing people, but maybe not roller skating. But yeah.
Are any of your support crew in any way first aid trained?
Yeah. They are. But
And actually, I didn't think about this, but I assume there's some kind of first aid kit in the car as well. I
yeah.
hope. I mean, let's fingers crossed that that's unnecessary. But so injuries and all
Mhm.
the complication of the plans and everything.
Yeah.
I
Whether
guess once you get going, it just kind of, I don't know. Once you've started, you've started.
yeah.
But
Um,
what else? Sorry, you were going to say something else then as well.
yeah, no, I was just thinking maybe things that are out of my control, like things if out of control things, unpredictable things happen, like I don't know if it rains for 30 days.
Yeah. So we talked about the rain there. I'm guessing because I mean, apart from the practicalities of roller skating in the rain, it's not going to be very good for the old, for the mood levels. I imagine staying upbeat and positive is going to be an absolute necessity for this.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, last time it was only for 1 week, and I was really worried about putting my physical, social, and also mental capacity to the max for 1 week, and then how I'm gonna feel like after a week. But that was a really beautiful journey. A lot of interactions, meaningful connections, and I received a lot of positive energy along the way. That when I arrived, I didn't feel that I was really challenged. So yeah, I thought that maybe next time I can go.
It was too easy. You,
People made it easy.
I really hope we can chat again in a month or
Yeah, ask
in
me.
about 6 weeks' time, and you have exactly the same thing. It was way too easy because
Ask
I
me.
have a feeling that if this is too easy, the next one's going to be like coast to coast across America, and that would be another epic trip. We haven't talked about this as well, but is there anybody who does anything like this, which is a test of yourself, there's usually a record to be had. Is there a record to be had on this? Is there
Yeah.
a Guinness gonna put you in their next book? And then you can join me in the Guinness World, because I, of course, have a Guinness World Record.
Oh,
Um,
wow. What
do you
time?
want to? No, we don't want to talk about my Guinness World Record. Let's. Are you going to be in the Guinness World Record books?
So we looked into this because I thought, so if it happens, really, if I manage to skate for 1,000 kilometers, it will be the farthest distance that a female skater has ever skated. So I thought it would be really, really meaningful if I do this for the purpose of raising awareness for dementia. So it's also adding some fun challenge to this, but it makes it somehow meaningful for me as well. That this title is for the purpose of raising awareness. Yeah.
That's awesome, and I know, because when you fill in all the paperwork and everything, so I suppose explain that I organised this kind of largest parade of classic mini cars, and
Wow.
so I wasn't driving all of them, but I organised it and did the world record attempts, and we got a world record in. I'm looking at the certificate. Well, 2009, and it's still stood now for 1,450 cars, and when you fill in the paperwork, there's a chance for you to kind of self-describe what it is. So if you wanted to put in there this little bit about raising dementia awareness, you can actually get that put in, and that'll appear on your Guinness World Records certificate.
Good to know. Okay.
So you can do that. Well, I really hope you get that. We should of course say, for anybody who's managed to survive and watch this long, is that you're not just going to disappear off on the 1st of September and we're not going to hear from you again till we all wave at you upon arrival in Geneva. That you're actually going to be vlogging, I think that's a word, video blogging on the Dementia Researcher YouTube channel constantly throughout September. So this isn't just like a little video at the end of every day. It's actually live from in the gravel, halfway up the mountain, in the roadside cafe, with the people you're meeting along the way. You're going to make some vlogs for us using YouTube Shorts, and you're going to post these throughout every day throughout your trip.
Exactly.
I'm so excited. I really, really, honestly, I'm genuine. If anybody cuts out, I'm genuinely excited to see what these comes in. I've watched other kind of social media influencers make films like this about epic trips, and they're brilliant. But we really do want to see, if you do fall over, I know it's awful, and if you're injured, but the first thing you've got to think about is not where is the support crew with plasters for my broken fingers. We want you to get your other hand with your camera.
Yeah,
it's not where is the ambulance, it's where's my phone. I need to video this for the YouTube channel, because these are the things we want to see, in addition, of course, to the brilliant work you're going to be doing en route.
Thank you.
I'm joking. I really, really don't. I'm not jinxing this.
No,
I really hope you won't get injured.
No, it's just, I just wanted to quickly mention, it's not only about raising awareness that around dementia topic. I really, really want to make concrete steps and examples of what we can do and how to, hopefully improve dementia care in hopefully short, but also long term. So it's just not about raising awareness that dementia is important, but what field of dementia, for example, shows promise during my PhD. For example, psychosocial aspect of dementia research is really promising, but it doesn't receive that much attention. So I'm going to talk about this and raise awareness, how we can promote this aspect, but also for example, for public, for people with dementia, for family caregivers, I really want to invite them to please consider attending research and participating in research, because we are here for you, and we are here to support you, we are here to investigate, and it's not possible without your participation.
Absolutely.
And, it takes a lot of time in academia sometimes for us to complete the recruitment. But if people know that this is also for their own good, if they consider participating, then the recruitment is going to complete quicker. We're going to have findings quicker, and hopefully, like little by little, we're gonna be able to improve dementia care quicker. So
Absolutely.
This is also something that I would like to raise awareness for during the campaign.
It's so important. I think one of the amazing things that could potentially come from this isn't, I mean, obviously you've got the interviews lined up, but it's not necessarily even the interviews. It's these spontaneous conversations that I can see cropping up along the way. As you do make those stops for lunch and pit stopping, or when people pass you on the street, or I think people asking you what it is you're doing. I mean, you're going to be repeating yourself so many times when people say, so what's all this about? And you're going to be so bored of answering that question at the end. But I think,
that's fine.
but I think it's brilliant that it's those conversations, because you're going to come across lots of people that don't think about these things, or so many people who have been touched by Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia in their own way. And they're going to talk to you, aren't you? You're going to have these amazing conversations along this route. And capturing that to inform your own work, but also as well kind of motivating. I think as researchers, we often don't necessarily, particularly those working in the lab, don't get that touch point necessarily with people living with dementia. So if anybody works in a lab and you can roller skate, hey, they could come and join you for part of the route. Wouldn't that be nice? If you'd like to join, I'm just making this up now, I didn't even ask her. If you saw that route earlier and you'd like to join Golnaz and spend a day skating with her, I'm sure she would be very welcome of the company to talk along the route. So don't just stop and have a conversation. Put some roller skates on or a bicycle. You could bicycle as well, and bicycle along part of the route with Golnaz and have a conversation. Do it. Find out the route. Reach out. Get in touch with us. We have Golnaz's email address, dementia-researcher@ucl.ac.uk. Drop us an email. We'll put you in touch, and you can cycle a little bit of this route and have a conversation alongside. I don't know if that's fine. She'll tell me afterwards.
Of course, I'll be happy. Actually, many people shared interest. Many scientists are actually doing inline skating. I didn't know they're gonna join me in Luxembourg already. Told me about that. Also in the Netherlands, you're more than welcome to join me. I'd be delighted to skate together, catch up, maybe have a coffee, maybe energy bar.
That's so beautiful. It's so nice. I love this. It reminds me of the kind of, the other event that they do that along the Camino. Talking the walk, walking the talk. The event that they've done recently across the Camino where they walk there. It's
nice
kind of like that. It is. So honestly, we've talked so much. So yes, genuinely though, Golnaz will be posting on YouTube Shorts on the Dementia Researcher YouTube channel every day, multiple times throughout the day, and hopefully we'll also get to see some of the people and meet some of the people through those films that you're going to be chatting to, and we are going to get to see the highs, and we're going to get to see some of the low points as well, if there are any. And we're going to get to see the rain and the sunshine, and we're going to get to see what exactly her favorite go-to snacks are en route. Hopefully we'll meet some of your support crew. Talking about supporters, who is, you mentioned Alzheimer, Netherlands Alzheimer already, who is supporting you in this journey?
Yeah,
plug for those.
Just quickly mention about places that people can also follow scientific side of the campaign. They are also being posted in Interdem website, so you can also follow that there. But regarding my research, my research is funded by Alzheimer Netherlands, and then I shared about this idea that I would like to do this, and then we discussed over it a little bit, and then they were supportive. I then talked about it with a few friends that I would like to do this. It would be nice to film it, to maybe raise awareness, and 2 friends of mine volunteered to do this, also because of personal reasons, personal bonds. And then I talked to Alzheimer Europe. They were supportive to put me in contact with key stakeholders. I talked to you. You kindly shared your own platform. So the reason I would like to actually do this raising awareness is that thing that we all have in common. And that is passion and our goal for a better life, for a better quality of life, for people with dementia and families.
Honestly, it's incredible. I'm in awe of both your effort. I mean, your research is really important. This effort is incredible. It's so unique. It's creative. I think it's brilliant. And I really do hope that it brings the attention that you deserve for this, and that anybody who's watching, please do, if you can somehow be interviewed or like to join along the route, get in touch. Or even if you just follow the story through the Interdem website, where they'll be posting regular updates as well, and through our YouTube channel, where you can see really what's going on this trip. And we'll share that in our newsletter as well regularly too.
Thank you.
So honestly, I've kind of, all my questions have been answered. I am interested to know, Is there a special go-to snack? If you were in the UK and you were doing this in Scotland, they'd be saying you should have tablet. It's kind of a very sugary, minty stuff. Have you got a special go-to snack that's going to keep you motivated? Because we should mention that snack, and maybe they'll send you a bunch of free ones.
Yeah, then maybe next time, because a friend of mine as a gift ordered a bunch of them. They're gonna arrive as a gift next week. So I will share.
Okay. Wine as well. She really likes wine. So if you want to spend wine, it's a very European thing to do. I think you should have wine every lunch and evening, and that's wine's good for you, isn't it? It's grapes. No. And cheese. If you're in that France leg, don't forget, if you're in the south of France, help Golnaz. We're going to start a separate campaign that's help Golnaz avoid the mountains. And we'll do a little countdown every day as you get closer. 1 day away from the mountains, 2 days away from the mountains, 3 days. And then just to try and find you other people en route. Well, honestly, I could chat away all day. But if anybody's watching, anybody who's watching has any questions, now is the time. This is your last chance. We're gonna chat away for a couple more minutes, but do post your questions in whichever platform you're watching in, whether you're watching in whether you're watching on Facebook or on X, or if you're watching on YouTube. Post your questions now, and we'll try and put those to Golnaz. What else have I got in here? I haven't got any more questions. Honestly, it's so incredible, and I hope that you get the Guinness World Record as well.
Thank you, but that's not the goal, really.
No, it's not the goal, but it'd be nice, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
it would be nice. So if you're in one of those parts of the world, we'll share a link to the route so you can have a look for yourself and see if you live somewhere along that route. Get in touch, or maybe go arrange to stand at the end of your street and wave and cheer as Golnaz passes by. And I will be in Geneva for Alzheimer Europe. So we'll Dementia Researcher. We're going to be making some podcasts and things there. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person. Same. In Geneva, with all your fingers still able to bend. No gravel scratches on your elbows in the first week of October. Thank you very much, Golnaz. It's been a pleasure. And I think that's probably all we've got time for this evening. Any final messages? Any last questions? Anybody? Post them now. Or is there any last messages you'd like to share with people watching?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight the importance of psychosocial research in dementia, and I wanted to thank Alzheimer Netherlands for recognizing this importance and for funding my research. So please follow us throughout. A lot of new opportunities for learning together. It's gonna rise. So looking forward to it. Thanks for watching, and thank you for having me, Adam.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I'm Adam Smith, and you've been listening to the Dementia Researcher live stream.